Hey guys, my name is Rich Freeman with Tuned In Guitar Lessons here in Miami, Florida. I want to do this review today on the Fulltone Supa. I just want to mention some things before I get into the sounds, and that is that when I first opened this pedal, I didn't have the cameras rolling when I plugged it in. And what happened is, as soon as I plugged it in and kind of put my foot on it just to rock it back and forth, there was sort of this clanking sound about halfway between the heel and the toe positions. And basically, it kind of threw me off for a second because I didn't know what that clanking sound was. It would like catch, and then it would go all the way back to the heel position, and then as I would push it down, it would clank about halfway through and then go all the way down. After I, kind of compressed it about 20 times, I'd say, that little catch that was happening kind of broke loose, and then it became like a clean sweep. I don't know where the catch was happening, if it's from the gears in here that connects to the pot, or if it is from the bolt that goes through the middle here. I am not sure, unfortunately, where it was coming from, but it was happening. So anyway, the other thing that I'll mention too is when I first plugged it in, I did hear a little bit of sort of scratchiness like from the pot, and I've had that issue on guitars before, so I just took some Deoxit 5 and just sprayed it into the pot itself, and it cleaned it right up. And I also sent an email and just asked Fulltone if that was like a normal thing. They said it wasn't a normal thing, and I think it was just maybe my unit came like that. It's probably not something that'll happen when you get it. However, I'm a little bit more like savvy in the sense of opening up pedals and going into like guitar pots and stuff, so I just went ahead and did that stuff myself, and the pedal seems to be working fine. Everything you hear now will be the pedal plugged in, just going. I'm gonna do direct and just see what it sounds like direct, and then I'll probably plug it into a Mesa Boogie and we'll see what it sounds like going through an amp being mic'd, and I'll let you guys get to hear what these sounds are. We got sub, whacked, fat, Jimi, and shaft. You also have this sweet little LED indicator light when you kick the pedal on, which is awesome, especially if you're playing in low light situations, either at night or on a dark stage. That would come in super handy, and plus it just looks cool, let's be honest. Anytime a pedal has a light on it, it looks cooler than the ones that don't. Through the single rectifier, the Mesa Boogie. And that's with the rev on the red position. Actually, start with whacked. Or sub. All right, guys, so you just heard it. That was the Fulltone Supa Wah. Sounds pretty awesome. I went through the single rectifier just because I figured most people are probably going to either play through an amp, but I will also put the direct files in there too. It sounds great either way. When I went through the Supa Wah direct, I had the Rev G3 is the pedal I was using for the distortion, and I just had it on the off position because that's the quietest position for my single coils on my guitar. And when I went through the amp, I actually put it on the red setting, which gave it more gain because I wanted to get a contrast of what the wah sounds like if I pushed it with a little bit more gain on the distortion. So anyway, you'll be able to hear those differences. I think this pedal's awesome. It is not cheap. It's gonna run you about 380 bucks, probably more or less. And I don't know, about a year ago, I guess, I was looking for a wah pedal, and this pedal popped up online in my search, and I heard a couple, there's only like 3 videos on YouTube with this pedal. And I watched all 3 of them, and I was like, man, that pedal sounds amazing. And I go to order it, and they're out of stock literally everywhere. And then I start researching and looking on Fulltone's website, and I see like Fulltone is shut down. And long story short, Fulltone wasn't shut down. They reopened and they're back in business, right? But the wait for this pedal was probably about, I don't know, it said March of 2024. So I put an order in, started waiting until March, then I got pushed back to April, then May, then June, July, August. About last month, I would say, I kind of gave up on the pedal, and I was like, man, I just don't think Sweetwater's gonna get this thing in. And I actually started looking for other wah pedals, and then lo and behold, I get an email and this thing is shipping to me. And that's where this video comes in today. So if any of you guys were looking for this pedal or wondering about the Supa Wah, it looks like they're gonna be around, and it just might take some time because I guess they're selling out quick, because every time I go and check on there, they're gone. I'm just glad I put my order in and I got one. So if you want one, I would tell you to just do a pre-order and just sit back and wait until it comes in. All right. So I can tell you, after playing this thing, that I think it's amazing. As far as wahs go, I've played a bunch of, Crybaby wahs and Dunlop wahs, and I've played the John Petrucci wah. I've played a lot of wahs. They all do the same thing, right? They all make the guitar go wah. This thing just sounds awesome. It's the best word I could say for it. It just sounds awesome. It gives you this very vocal sort of wah sound, and you guys can hear it in those clips that I played. The Jimi and the shaft are definitely the higher vocal frequency positions. So if you're going to be doing solos on the higher register, you're going to want to be using those. The sub, whacked, and fat tend to, in my opinion, feel better towards the low end of the instrument. So between like frets 1 to 12, it sounds like super just awesome. You know what I mean? It just sounds really good. But if you want to solo on the higher register of the guitar, you're going to want to be in either the Jimi or the shaft position. It's just something to think about if you're going to use it in a song and you know that you're going to be soloing up high. I would set it to those positions. That said, everything else on this pedal's pretty awesome. I mean, you have the input level, which, if like me, I have single coil pickups, so I put my input level about halfway. It seemed to sound really good. If I went too high on the input, then it kind of gave me a lot more static noise. The buffer I actually left off. I guess if I'm running this through like a big pedal chain, I'll probably put the buffer on to maybe push the signal a little bit harder. It doesn't seem like I need it on what I'm running it through right now, but guys, overall, I would say this pedal's pretty awesome. I am not sponsored by Fulltone. This is just a review I'm doing on my own, just because I want to get this channel started, and I thought this would be a good place to start. One last thing I forgot to mention is that my pedal did not come with a user manual, right? And most pedals we don't need that for. But because of the little issues that I had, I was not 100% like confident taking the pedal apart and things like that. So if you go on Google and you just type in Fulltone Supa pedal manual, you'll get the manual right from the website and you can download it, and it gives you a nice breakdown. I actually wish that that manual was in my pedal box, but I was glad I could find it online. But it gives you a nice breakdown of what all the buttons are, what all the knobs are doing, and then it also gives you tips on cleaning the pot if your pedal becomes scratchy at some point. But I'll just tell you right off the bat, what you want to do is you want to get this stuff. It's called Deoxit Fader F5. This is the stuff I use. I use this on guitars also when you have scratchy volume and tone knobs. And basically, if you read in the manual for the pedal, it tells you, you can open this up. There is a wire attached that's like a ground wire, and you want to make sure that doesn't detach when you take it off. So you gotta be very careful. You're just going to take off the 4 screws, and then inside you'll see the pot that is connected to this little gear here, and you basically are just going to spray some of that deoxit right inside there, like 1.5 seconds what they recommend. That's what I always do, just one quick little spray. Kind of do this a couple times and it'll quiet it right up. So even if you have this thing and after, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 months, you start getting the scratchy sound when you're playing, you can just spray that stuff in there. It'll clean it up perfect. Again, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it. I'm going to be posting more content, teaching content coming up in the future. And for the first 100 subscribers, I'm going to give away my course for absolutely free. It's a music theory course. It's designed for my fretboard flashcards, the fretboard memorization deck. I'll put a picture of that on the screen there if you want to support the channel, or if you just want to get better at memorizing music theory, all the formulas, intervals, and kind of key signatures, scale, like the mode formulas. You can buy these flashcards on Amazon, or you can order them directly from my website. I'll put the link in the description. Thank you guys so much. Here's to the future.